Happy Sunday. Happy
Hey.
Sunday. Yes. Oh my goodness. It has been a nice weekend. I'm just,
Yes.
unfortunately I haven't been able to get out and enjoy it. So,
Oh yeah, really?
I have not. I have not. It has been a nice weekend, but I went into this weekend knowing that I was going to be working, trying to catch up on people taxes and stuff because this month is my cutoff month. And
Mhm.
then it didn't help that there's something going around in school, and I'm feeling it all weekend, like literally not having like a appetite or anything. And it's
Oh
not me.
wow.
I mean, like I've been like literally not eating. I felt it at work. I did feel it at work. Hey, honey, I felt it at work. I was like, I did not want to eat my lunch, and I was drinking
Mhm.
ginger ale. I was like, oh my god. I was like, what is happening? What is happening? That never like usually happens like that. I go all day without wanting to like eat on anything. So I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
something's not right. Something's not right. But
Oh.
yeah, so I've been just kind of laying low, drinking drinking tea, doing ginger ale. Your brother-in-law went and got me some ginger ale because I was been using it. So give me some ginger ale
Mhm.
on that, and just kind of just chilling and working.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
Yeah.
how's your week though? How's your week been going?
Well, it was actually pretty good. On Saturday, I was able to be a part of Hearing Philadelphia. And with
Okay.
Hearing Philadelphia, it was I guess like a project that was put together to honor parents who have suffered from gun violence, lost a child
Um,
to gun violence. And so we sang, we played, and we chanted for them, and it was really beautiful. It was
yeah.
a really beautiful situation. We were right down at City Hall,
Nice.
and yeah, it was lovely. Yep. And so and during the week, I actually had spent the week. We were doing rehearsals and stuff to preparing for the Hearing Philadelphia event.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. Yep. So I was able to sing for that. I initially heard about it and was thinking about like, okay, I could play my bass, but
Okay.
we were like marching around outside, and I was like, okay, a bass has a pretty big amp that goes with it, and so I was like, all right, I won't be playing the bass, and then I
Right.
was told that I could use my voice as an instrument, and so
Nice.
I was able to do that, and so that worked out.
Nice. 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 Hello. Hello. Thank you everybody for being here for our Sunday Sister Talk. Yes. 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 I'm TB. That's my sister Janae Goddess Life. So we are excited to bring our next topic to you. We are excited to bring our next topic to you today. So this one is really um, getting me thinking a lot. I'm finding it very enlightening. My sister Janae, this is her area of expertise. I'm excited for her to bring all that knowledge to you all. Tell you a little bit about what she does. And I
Mhm.
hope that you take something away from this. So today we
Yeah.
are going to talk about understanding the seven chakras. Okay.
Mhm.
So before my sister dives in, I'm just give you a little bit of insight to what the seven chakras are, in case you have not heard of. So the seven chakras are the main energy sensors in the body, believed to influence physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being, with each chakra associated with specific qualities and located along the spine. Hello, hello. Thank you for coming in from India. I appreciate you. So here's a little breakdown of the seven chakras from the base to the crown. Okay. So to start off, you have like your root chakra, which is located at the base of the spine, associated with grounding, stability, and survival instincts.
Mhm.
And then you call your sacral chakra, which is located below the navel, is linked to your creativity, your emotions, and your relationships. Okay. Then you have like the solar plexus chakra, which is located in your upper abdomen, associated with confidence, self esteem, and personal power. Then you have your heart chakra, okay, which is salutated in the center of your chest, linked to love, compassion, and connection. Then you have your throat chakra, okay, which is located in your throat area and associated with communication and self expression. Then you have your third eye chakra, which is situated between your eyebrows, linked to your intuition, your insight, and your clarity. And lastly, you have your crown chakra, which is located at the top of your head, associated with spirituality, connection to the higher consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
So, in case you don't know what chakra actually means, it actually means the wheel and
Mm-hmm.
refers to the energy points in your body. They're thought to be spinning discs of energy that should be stay open and aligned as they correspond with the bundles of your nerves, your major organs, and areas of energetic body that affect emotional and physical well-being. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I done put a lot of information all at one time, but we're going to start talking about the first chakra, which is the grounding. Hello, thank you for coming in, which is your root chakra. It said this is considered the root or the foundation of your body.
Mm-hmm.
The location of the root chakra is the base of the spine and your tailbone area. The color of the root chakra is red.
Mm-hmm.
The meaning of it is physical identity, stability, and grounding. The elements of the root chakra is earth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the body system is excretory, and it governs your spine, your kidneys, your bladder, and your large intestine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I wanted to say something before we move away from like, like just what chakras are and like you was talking about like the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think a good way too to think about chakras because there's actually many chakras, like they're like over 100 like along in our aura.
Mm-hmm.
But so there's like the seven main chakras,
Seven main
you
chakras.
know.
Yeah. Yes.
Um, yeah. And so there is like the kind of like these energy vortexes that are
Mm-hmm.
along it, like they breathe, what I mean? It's like this in and out type of energy. They can get
Mm-hmm.
really out of balance.
Mm-hmm.
And or be in balance, of course. And the idea is to keep your chakra energies in balance. And when
Mm-hmm.
they're out of balance, they can also pull on other energies, like say like if your heart chakra is out of balance, it's going to pull on your throat chakra and and
Mm-hmm.
your solar plexus chakra, to try to
Okay.
get some energy. Um,
Right.
but yeah, it's like they breathe, like in and out like vortexes too.
Okay.
But yeah, going on into the root chakra. Yeah, let's talk about that
Yeah.
because
Yeah. So they
that's
was
the
saying,
biggest chakra. Mhm.
right. So yeah, I know you can give us a little insight on this, but it was saying that it's the element is the earth, okay, because it's the root and the foundation. And they're saying that if you have like a blocked root chakra, it can manifest into like physical issues like arthritis, allergies, fatigue, constipation, and bladder or colon problems.
Yeah.
um, or emotionally through feeling like insecure about like your finances or your basic needs and well-being. And it
And
says like when it's in alignment and open, like you feel free and grounded and secure both physically and emotionally.
mm-hmm.
Right. So you want
Yeah,
to elaborate a little bit more on the root chakra?
definitely. Um, I guess, we could talk about like well, because you talked about the location, the
Mm-hmm.
color.
Mhm.
The grounding, I guess, some ways to easily ground your root chakra is by going out in nature.
Going out to
Putting your
nature.
feet directly on the ground and getting
Okay.
that grounding. Because it's like sometimes we don't feel grounded, we feeling kind of lost, you
Mhm.
know. And
Mhm.
but yeah, it's like when you get that grounding, kind of bring you back down to earth.
Mhm.
We
Mhm.
start to feel a little better. You can feel a little more stable in your body.
Mhm.
Um, when I think of like an imbalanced root chakra, say like somebody that feels like they're not comfortable in their own skin.
Okay. Okay.
Saying,
Okay.
like feeling kind of disconnected, like from their own body.
Okay.
Um, yeah, dealing with a lot of insecurities. Like it's like when your survival needs are like in jeopardy, or
Mm.
something, you may feel like a very imbalanced root chakra.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
but yeah, like ways to help balance that, um,
Mhm.
meditation, for one, but definitely like that, that getting some just grounding your energy. There's certain yoga practices,
Mhm.
stretches and things that help with balancing your root chakra.
Okay.
Um, and not like that's going to help, um, like physically, like just like, make food appear or something. But, what I mean, sometimes like, it can help you with just having more clarity
Mhm.
and, maybe help you like, figure out like what steps you need to take, to carry on.
Right.
So that, to help you to, realize maybe the things that you need to do. Um, yeah.
Mm.
But
Yeah, it's
mhm.
interesting that the root chakra is associated with like the color red.
Mhm.
Um, like why is it associated with the color red?
So the energy, the frequency of the root chakra is what's that, like just that frequency. Like as you go through each of them, the root chakra is deep. It's like what's that, the frequency of it, it's like the is like a longer wave.
A longer wave.
Um
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
longer wave frequency. And as you go up, the wave like shortens.
Okay.
Um is So it's like like even like with the rainbow, it's like we are light bodies,
Mhm.
and is we are energy, and
Mhm.
so it's like just these particular energy sensors in our body, like they each have their own frequency.
Their own frequency.
Um
Okay.
yeah, and
Okay.
like the root chakra corresponds with the C note,
Oh, a
you
C note.
know,
Okay.
the C
Okay.
note.
Okay.
Yeah. And literally, like our chakras is like each one is like the root is associated with the C note, the sacral associated with the D,
Okay.
the solar plexus is associated with the E note, the heart chakra is F.
Okay.
So even like yeah, F and then G, then
Uh-huh.
A and the B note.
Okay.
So
Okay.
when we're playing music and stuff,
Yeah.
um that music is affecting, your chakras. And
Oh,
so,
wow.
and the people who know this stuff, they use it. And that's how, like sound and vibration be having such an effect on our bodies, you know.
Mm.
And
Yes. Yes.
so
Yes. Yes.
just like, say like if you're in a movie theater or something, how, the music is playing and next, it's like the music itself can make you feel scared even before you see what's going on,
Right.
or you can
Right.
use
Right.
music to make you feel happy, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? You
Right. Right.
know,
Right.
um,
Right.
in the same way how music, it produces these different feelings in our body,
Mhm.
um, you can also use it for healing, and
Mm.
so it's like if you're using like, um like say like with sound therapy to help heal the body, like if I was wanting to help someone balance their root chakra, I would
Mhm.
focus on the C note,
The C note.
just like
Okay.
yeah, like when if I'm playing the bowls or something, like
Yeah.
when I'm playing the C bowl, it's focusing on the root chakra.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. um
Interesting. Very
yeah.
interesting.
Mhm.
So we
um
breaking it down, like we starting from the root, which is all the way down at the bottom, And then we're going to go to the sacral. So
Mm-hmm.
the
Well, I want
sacral.
to say something else about the root chakra too before we get
Okay.
off of it,
Okay.
because it's certain other things that you can do, like even like with color therapy, like if you're wearing red, you
Okay.
know,
Okay.
yeah, like if you're wearing red, eating red foods,
Mm-hmm.
and things like even stuff like that, you know what I mean, as you know, is that association with the root chakra. Um, or you know, any color that you're wearing. And you know, and we're gonna go further, you know, as we're going, but say like if you notice sometimes like, you know, speakers or something like that, like, you know, they're going to go do a presentation, they wear blue because, you know, the throat chakra is associated with the color blue,
Right. Right.
you know.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, you know, say like, you know, if you have or say like if your sheets and everything like that is red and you're sleeping in this red energy every night,
Mhm.
um, you could end up with a overactive root chakra.
Oh wow.
You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
wow.
You know, if you have too much red around you, you know, kind of thing. So it's always finding that balance, you know, with your energy.
Yeah, I definitely want to get into like different ways to balance it and stuff like that. After we go through and the meanings of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, hello, hello. Thank you for coming
Hey,
in.
hey,
Um,
from Mexico.
yes, yes. I appreciate you for being here for our Sister Talk Sunday. Yeah. So we're just going through like just the main chakras, which are seven chakras.
Mm-hmm.
Their meaning and the benefits of it. All right. So we already talked about the root chakra. Now we're going to talk about the sacral chakra. So the
Mm-hmm.
sacral chakra is associated with sexual fulfillment, emotional intelligence, and social acceptance. All right. So the location of your sacral chakra is just below your belly button, right? And just above your pelvic bone, right? And the color associated with it is orange, right? So the
Mm-hmm.
total meaning of the sacral chakra is like the sexuality, the pleasure, the
Mm-hmm.
creativity. Um,
Reproduction.
right, right. And it's
Creativity. It's the house of creativity. It's
like
right
the
where your
house,
womb and your reproductive
right,
organs are.
right, right, right. And they were saying that the element associated with it is water,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And the body system is circulatory. That we were talking about, right? So, like the issues with this chakra can be seen as problems associated with like your organs, like urinary tract infections, like
Mm-hmm.
lower back pain, like impotency or like fertility or reproductive issues, like those are like the physical problems, but it could also be emotionally attached. Like the
Yeah.
chakra is connected to our feelings and our self worth. Even more specifically, our self worth around like pleasure, like sexuality and creativity.
Yeah.
So, Janae,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to go a little bit more into our sacral chakra.
So,
Hello, hello. Thank you for coming in.
okay. I've
Appreciate you.
heard of like sound healers or vibrational frequency healers that talked about how, you know, say like an issue, like you said, you know, with like, you know, a sexual impotency or something. And I'm
Hmm.
actually using frequency to help to balance that chakra and to, you know, bring back the health of that area.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I just think with that stuff, you know, it's like it's just really knowing what you're doing and, you know, to like you said, to change those frequencies to get things flowing again or to rebalance the chakra. But
Hmm.
um but yeah, certain ways that you can, you know, help
Girl.
to balance your
Hmm.
sacral chakra. One of the easiest things you can do is dance.
Dance, really?
Dance.
To help the
Dancing.
chakra chakra?
Yep. Yep. Get the balance in that chakra, opening up that energy. Cause a lot of time we be having a lot of blocked energy, you know, in that area.
Uh-huh.
Like you said, because it's dealing with our own, you know, self-worth and or you know, or how we see ourselves sexually or something.
Mm,
You know,
mm.
and mantras, you know, reminding yourself, you know, that it's okay, you know, to be in your sexuality.
Okay.
Um
Okay.
and that you're full of joy and creativity and expressing your emotions in a healthy way. um
Mm. Mm.
yeah, yeah. Doing art, journaling and stuff, too. But yeah, just those different things that can help to balance those chakras. um but yeah, eating orange fruits and
Orange
things
fruit.
like that. Yeah, like
Okay.
oranges.
Okay.
Yeah.
Orange fruit will help with that
Mhm.
chakra.
Yep,
Okay.
help balance it.
Yeah.
But definitely dancing. Dancing,
That's
that's one of the easiest ways. So far, like you said, like with the root chakra, going outside, putting your feet in the ground, doing some actual grounding, help
okay.
balance that chakra. With
Okay.
the sacral,
Uh-huh.
dance.
Sacral dance or dance. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
noticed you said something like it helps like I mean like it's associated with if you have like lower back pain. So if you're saying like dancing, that will help alleviate some of the lower back pain and
It
stuff,
can definitely help take some of that pressure off.
some of the pressure off. And
Yeah.
what about for people that's suffering with like fertility issues or impotency? Like how can we like help alleviate some of that? Hello, hello, thank you for coming in with the sacral
Um, I think that same sort of thing, what I mean, like dancing, but it's changing the mindset, what I mean, sometimes with what we think about our own selves, how we feel about ourselves.
Okay.
It's like that mental stuff, affects us physically.
Okay. Okay.
Those,
Okay.
yeah.
So should you think like positive things like, you know, I am able to do or something like that to like help with that sacral?
For sure, because sometimes, it's like, I don't, how manifesting works, what I mean, affirmations and stuff. If you affirm into yourself, like, I can't do this, you're telling
Mm,
all your cells in your body that it's not possible for you.
wow. Wow.
It's
Wow.
like,
Wow.
I mean, our own voice is the strongest vibration that we have for our own body, and
Mm,
so those things, it's
mm,
like you're sending that vibration by
mm,
either the way you're thinking or speaking, because it's not about is regardless of whatever we actually say, it's the vibration that we're giving, and your body responds to your own vibration, what you
mm.
think, feel, represent about yourself, you
Oh, okay.
know, and stuff. And
Okay.
so, yeah, and I think some, it's like, the vibration is like, it may not change right away. What I'm saying? Like it
Okay.
takes time, and uh, and stuff. And so I think a lot of times when things don't happen immediately, we lose patience, we lose hope, we lose you
Right.
know,
Right.
yeah, and start to
Right.
think, "Oh, it's not working,"
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just little things that you can do to help with the process and just have patience. 'Cause I know you say like when you're dealing with the root chakra, because it's associated with the color red, you want to eat like red fruits, red foods. And when you're dealing with the sacra, because it's associated with the color orange, you want to eat orange foods, these stuff, orange foods,
Mhm.
orange fruits and stuff. That's very interesting,
Yeah.
very interesting. So
Mhm.
the next one we wanted to go into was called the solar plexus chakra.
Mhm.
Um, this third chakra is thought to be your source of individual power or your
Yeah.
gut instinct.
Your gut. You
Your gut,
know,
I said your
yeah.
gut instinct, follow your gut. Well, your solar plexus chakra is related to your gut instinct, right? And they said like
Mhm.
it's located in the upper abdomen and your stomach area, right? They're associated with the color yellow. Um, the meaning of the solar plexus chakra is self-esteem, confidence, and it's related to the element of fire, right?
Yes.
And the body system is like the digestive, like metabolism. Okay, is the body system. And they were saying, like, for us, the solar plexus chakra is concerned, like, if you have blockages in this third chakra, they're often experienced through your digestive issues. Like, you get ulcers, like heartburn, you get eating disorders, and
Mhm.
even like indigestion, right? And it said it's the chakra of your personal power. This
Mhm.
means that it's related to your self-esteem and your self-confidence.
How
So you
about
want to
that?
go a little bit more into the solar plexus chakra?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely you have a lot of information. You definitely given a lot, about it. What I was just thinking, yeah, so like somebody that feels like, their personal power is being taken away, they might, always feel like their stomach hurts. You know
Ooh,
what I'm saying?
ooh, interesting.
Yeah, or be like, like you said, be dealing with, a lot of stomach issues and,
Wow,
things like that. Um,
wow.
yeah, it's, cause it's like, your intestines, are there and trusting your gut and stuff, it's almost like this distrust in yourself,
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, and so it's like, or if you like making yourself feel like, or if someone, you're allowing someone else to make you feel small, kind of thing and
Mm,
stuff, then it's
mm.
like, be having that, it's kind of hard to, you feel like you're not standing in your own power.
Wow,
Um,
wow.
yeah, so I could see that, like you said, it's just, having like the stomach issues or something, or when you're not feeling confident, and you feel those butterflies in your stomach,
Mm.
before you go on stage or something.
Yes, them butterflies is real, child. Them butterflies is
Mhm.
so that's all to do with your solar plexus chakra that's in
Yes.
your abdomen.
Yep, yep.
That's interesting. Interesting. Hello, hello. I see we got a lot of new friends in the chat. I saw some
Mhm,
friends from like Africa, India. How are you? How are you? Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. So we are talking about understanding the seven chakras. We know our body has many chakras, but we're focusing on the seven main chakras. Their colors attached to them, their meaning, how to navigate through these chakras. Hello, hello. Thank you so much for coming in. So
mhm,
right now we're talking about the solar plexus chakra, which is associated with the color yellow. So I know before you
mhm,
were talking about the root chakra, which is associated with the color red. So you want to
mhm,
eat like things, red foods, red fruits, associated with that chakra. Then the sacral
mhm.
chakra, which is more about sexuality, emotional intelligence,
Your
and
feelings.
yeah, associated with the color orange. So eat things in orange, like orange foods, orange fruit and stuff related to the chakra. And it's like a water element. And then we were talking about the solar plexus chakra, which is
Mhm.
centered like in your stomach area, your belly area. Um,
Yeah.
it's associated with your self-esteem and your confidence and stuff.
Mhm.
It has a lot to do with your digestive system as well,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's why ginger is really good for your solar plexus.
Solar plexus. Okay.
Ginger, yep.
Okay.
And eating bananas,
Banana.
sometimes like yep, yep.
Okay.
Like yeah, they say like that could even help with, like when you're having like, like upset stomach or something, you
Okay.
know.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, usually like yeah, if you're dealing with some sort of upset stomach or something, it's like I'm gonna immediately think like, okay, there's an imbalance in the solar plexus. You know what I
Wow.
mean? Yeah. And so it's like, yeah, maybe doing some affirmations. Affirmations are wonderful because it's you're affirming to yourself. You're speaking to your 72 billion cells inside your body. And when I think of cells, I think of selves. You know what I'm saying?
Cells.
Like they're all
Okay.
your tiny little mini selves that are
Okay.
inside of you. You know what I mean? So it's like speak to yourselves,
Speak
speak to
to yourself.
yourselves, you
Okay.
know what I'm saying? And affirm to them, that I am confident. You know what I'm saying? These self-affirming words, to help boost your own willpower, you know.
Mm. Mm.
Um, yeah.
Hello, hello. Thank you for coming in. Glad to meet you too. Home sweet home. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you all for coming in.
Yes, we are
Yeah,
sisters.
yes, we are sisters. So if you're new to our Sister Talk Live, welcome. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. And
Mhm.
today our topic is talking about understanding the seven chakras. I'm not sure if you understand that your body has all these energy centers in them, and chakras all play a different part in how your body works, how things happen inside your body. These chakras are very,
Mhm.
very important. Very, very important. So we're just giving you a little
Mm,
background and a little information regarding your chakras. Okay.
mhm,
Just talked about the root chakra. We talked about the sacral chakra. Okay, so if you're just joining in, the root chakra is based on like your root, your foundation. It starts at the bottom. Then you have your sacral chakra, which is a little bit just above, below the belly button. And then you have your solar plexus, which is in your abdomen and your tummy, which is related to a lot of like your digestive issues, and things like that.
and
Um,
trusting yourself, you know what I
and
mean?
plus,
Yeah, trusting yourself, trusting your judgment,
mm-hmm,
it's like, yeah, I think sometimes like when we would just be feeling uncomfortable,
mm-hmm,
about things and stuff, like you said, like dealing with self-esteem, yourself, your own self-image, your self-confidence and stuff, you know what I mean? It's like you're not trusting our own ability, our own, self-worth and, different
wow.
stuff like that, you know what I mean? So then it's like, yeah, you don't be feeling, like that comfortable just like with who you are, but it's like, learning to trust your own power, learning to trust yourself and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
be learning to trust your own gut,
Your gut instinct. Yes. I listen
trusting your
to my
gut.
gut a lot. I do. I do.
Mhm.
Like if my gut is telling me something, I listen. I was like, my gut is
Yeah.
not like giving me these strong vibes for no reason. You know?
Right.
Trust
Exactly.
your gut. Trust in your gut.
Exactly.
Yes, yes, yes,
Mhm.
yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So that solar plexus chakra is very strong and powerful. When they say trust your gut instinct, your intuition, hunty, yes. It's there
Yeah.
for a reason. It's one of your
Yeah.
chakras.
Your gut, it's another brain. It
Yeah,
literally is another brain.
yes, yes, yes. Listen
Mhm.
to it. Listen to it. It has never steered me wrong. Never.
Mhm.
So the next one we want to talk about is the heart chakra. The heart
Mhm.
chakra. So your heart chakra is connected with your feelings of love
Mhm.
and romance,
Mhm.
empathy for others. Yes.
Mhm.
So of course it is located in the center of your chest, like just above the heart, your heart chakra, just above the heart. Um,
Mhm.
and it's associated with the color green.
Yes.
Associated with the color green, right?
Mhm.
And like I said, the meaning is love and compassion. And the element is air. Air is an air
Mhm.
element. And the body system is like cardiovascular. So when you think about the
Your
heart,
lungs.
yeah, cardiovascular,
Yes.
right?
Your lungs, your heart. You know what I
Oh,
mean? And so good heart health, that's why they be like, you gotta eat your veggies. You gotta eat them green vegetables.
yes, yes. That's where the green
Mhm.
comes in at.
Yep.
Good for your heart. Good for your heart. Hello,
Yep.
hello. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in. Yes, yes,
Mhm.
yes. So that means, like you said, eating your vegetables. There's not a lot of green fruits, but you know what? I'm realizing that, like, even though some of the things that you think are vegetables are actually a fruit. Even though
Right,
they're
right.
green, right?
Yep.
Even though
Yep.
they're green, because they have the seeds and stuff, so they're considered a fruit. Right, right.
Yep.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Yes, yes. So they said like the blocks in your heart chakra can manifest in your physical health through heart
Mhm.
problems. Thank you,
Yes.
home. I appreciate you. Through heart problems, right? That's
Mhm.
related to your heart chakra. Like if you get like asthma, if you start having weight issues, right?
Mhm.
That's all related to your heart chakra.
Yep,
And the
and
body
grief.
system, right, right,
Mhm.
right, right. The body system is all centered around the cardiovascular, right?
Right.
But they said the blocks are often seen even more clearly through people's actions.
Word up. Say
Wow.
that again. Yes.
Wow. The blocks
Mhm.
are often seen even more clearly through people's actions.
People's actions. Yep. You can tell sometimes. I'm saying it's like sometimes you see like sometimes people they be evil and you be like, dang, their heart chakra is blocked.
Their heart chakra is
Their
blocked.
heart chakra is blocked up. Like you need to open your heart, open up that heart chakra,
Open
go
their heart
hug
chakra.
somebody or
Yes,
something.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that makes so much sense when you figure when people had that evil disposition or they just hateful all the time. And it's like, oh my God, where is the love? Like, why are you so
Mhm.
hateful? Right?
Yeah,
You
but
block.
you'll realize it's like, you'll see, like especially if you do like if you test them, you know what I'm saying, and there's ways that you can test the chakras because like I said, it's all about energy. And so, sometimes you can feel it.
Right.
Um, when you're one of those in tune type of people, especially like Reiki folks that, that practice this sort of stuff.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
or
Okay.
even using like a pendulum, like with a pendulum, how, like you hold a pendulum and it'll spin, you know what I
Wow.
mean? Or it'll react to someone's energy. You know what I'm saying? That's what yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Wow.
and you'll see that a lot of times like somebody, like that, it'd be more their heart chakra be blocked, but it's also all of these other things nearby that are also blocked too. You know what I mean? You find that they probably they end up being constipated. You know what I'm saying? You
Really?
might find out that they're constipated or, what I mean, they have these other issues, going all the way through. It'd be like, it won't just be their heart chakra, it'll be their solar plexus, their sacral, and their root. You know what I mean?
Wow.
If all their chakras mess around and be like out of alignment. Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that heart chakra is serious deals and serious business.
Yeah. And
Man,
I be feeling like that's one of the like really um and just with my thinking, I feel like that's the most important one.
the
You know
most
what I mean?
important
Because
part.
they say the energy of the heart chakra stretches so far and wide,
Wow.
and stuff. And so it's like you can actually start to heal your other chakras by healing your heart chakra. Is
Really?
the center, is the one in the center.
Right in
You
the
start
center. Okay.
healing, yeah, is the center of the chakras. And so it's
Yeah.
like you start healing your heart chakra, you can start healing, your solar plexus, your throat, your sacral, the third eye. You start healing, those other ones by healing your heart chakra.
Healing your heart chakra.
Yeah.
Wow. 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 Interesting. Interesting. Yes. So they said what people with heart chakra blocks often um put others first to their own detriment. Hmm.
Mm,
So in the middle of the seven chakras, so it bridges the gap between the upper and lower chakras, and it also represents our ability to love and connect to others. So
yeah.
when it's out of like you said, when it's out of alignment, it could make us feel lonely, insecure, and isolated.
Yeah.
Well, wow,
Mm-hmm.
wow,
Yeah.
yeah. 'Cause you figure it's right in the middle. So between the ones below, the ones above, it's the center.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
awesome. Wow. So that heart chakra is woo, deep, deep, deep.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. So they have the next one, which is considered your throat chakra.
Mm-hmm.
The throat chakra.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. The throat
yeah.
chakra. I think that's a big one. You can go ahead and talk about it.
The throat chakra. Okay.
Mhm.
So the throat chakra is attributed to personal expression,
Mhm.
self-awareness, and finding truth.
Mhm. Speaking your
Wow.
truth. Yeah,
Speaking
cause
your truth.
yeah. Cause sometimes people be afraid, so or they tell a lot of lies.
You know, it helps like when people be like real vocal, like how they say like you have no filters, like woo, like everything comes out.
Yeah, so that could be like what's that? Like an overactive throat chakra. You know
Overactive
what I
throat
mean? Where they
chakra.
might need to pull it back a little bit.
Saying too much, right? That throat chakra
Mhm.
can be overactive, right?
Mhm.
Yes. So yeah, so they said like, finding your truth. Like location, of course, is in the throat. Right. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. I appreciate all the feedback in the chat. Thank you for being here for our sister talk. Yes. So, and they said the color blue is
Yes.
associated with the throat chakra.
Mhm.
The color blue, and the meaning of it is communication.
Yeah.
Communication.
Yes.
And the element to it is space.
Mm.
Space,
Mhm.
the element
What about
of it,
that?
right? And the
Yeah.
system was the endocrine related to the
Mhm.
thyroid gland, right? Hello,
Yeah.
thank you for coming in, right? So they said so. As one would expect, this chakra is connected to our ability to communicate verbally.
Mhm.
verbally.
Yeah. How about that? It's like so it bridges that gap between like what you feel and how
Okay.
you think and what you say.
And
You
how
know
you
what I'm
say,
saying? Because it's like it's in between the heart and the third eye. It's like what we feeling and what we're thinking, and then what we say. And so it's like when it's in balance, we're going to be more articulate. We're going to state our needs more clearly. You know what I'm
right.
saying? We're not going to be speaking in ways to hurt people. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm, mm, yeah.
yeah, but it's like when it's out of balance, what I mean, your heart ain't in it, what I mean, you might not be thinking clearly, that tongue be cutting like a knife,
Oh,
you know. But it's like, yeah, so
yes, yes.
yeah,
But sometimes
yeah.
they use it in the wrong way. Use it in the wrong way.
Exactly. It's like because words are so powerful, what I mean? It's like, we literally be like casting spells with our words, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like you said, cursing people and stuff, what I mean? Or cursing our own selves sometimes with just our very words, you know that we
Yeah.
say. And sometimes it's like it's not even like just what we say, it's what we thinking,
What we think.
as well. And but that's what I was saying, like how the words have the power to heal or harm. And they're more than just tools for communication.
Mm-hmm.
Like they carry that vibration. And so it's like it's very important, with how we use our words, how we use that way of expression and communication.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
because it's nonverbal, it's and even like body language and stuff.
Oh yeah,
You
that's
know
a
what I'm saying? Like that's all associated, too, with that way of communicating, how we communicate with others, how we communicate with ourselves.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's like, having
Right.
those them affirmations, what I mean, like, choosing to express yourself lovingly,
Right.
choosing to express yourself with clarity.
Right.
But yeah, really realizing the power of your voice. Um, and sometimes, and when we don't, how sometimes like when you don't, and it's like it may be something that you want to say, or you be like wishing like, oh, I wish I'd have said this to them or something like that, or
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
find yourself like, or with that like lump in your throat,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying, or feeling like you can't speak, or different things and stuff. Yeah, it's like like your throat chakra might be out of balance. But what I wanted to say, like a helpful thing, if you're doing like a speaking engagement, or you're going to go sing, or you're going to go present, yourself or something, wear blue, or carry a blue stone, or wrap a blue scarf around your neck or
What?
something. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, what I mean, to
Okay.
help,
With
with
that
that.
throat
So
song. Okay.
yes, help you feel
Okay.
more articulate,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
And help
Okay.
you get your message across, help your message be better received.
Wow. Interesting. Interesting. So we saw
Yeah.
somebody in the chat said that it's definitely about the intention behind the words. And you can curse someone without using cuss words too.
Exactly, exactly. You know what I mean?
Mm,
It's like, like if you look at somebody and you be like, I love you. You know what I mean? But you ain't mean it. You saying I love you,
right.
but your whole face is like, I hate you. You know what I'm saying? Even though you like, yeah, I love you. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like just because you say the words, like you said, that intention, that feeling, the vibration that you actually, because I don't, I don't know who said it. I don't know, it was Einstein or something. You know how one of them videos I saw, but he was talking about how he said the universe, um, what's that? Is it responds in frequency. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? It's really all
mm,
about the energy, that you're putting behind things.
mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. So yeah, they were saying like it's connected to our ability to communicate verbally, the voice and throat problems as well as any problems within that surrounding area, such as your teeth, your
Mhm.
gums, and your mouth, can indicate blockages.
Mm.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow. So if you have issues with your teeth or your gums or your mouth, that can indicate a blockage in your throat chakra.
Yeah, it's like you might be talking too much. You might be saying too much of the wrong things. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Yep. Yep. Mhm.
Wow.
And it's like and it's responding, I don't know, or like sometimes, like it, like if it's somebody that always got like a sore throat or something, or it's
Yeah.
like it's like the body's way of shutting you up or something. What I mean, because you probably been yapping, 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 saying too
Stop.
much of the wrong stuff, and
Stop.
so now it's like, okay, now your throat hurting.
What?
Now
Wow.
your throat hurting.
Thank you for coming in. That's wild. That's wild.
Universe was like, okay, we're gonna have to shut you up for a second. You know what I'm
Oh
saying? Now
my
you're gonna
God.
hear with a sore throat, you need to be quiet.
I'm crying. So I just sore throat mean I was yapping too much. Doing the wrong
Yeah, see, or look, it's either that or maybe you weren't saying enough. It might
thing.
maybe some because sometimes it's the opposite. It may be something that you really needed to say. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's things that you need to say, you need to get off, and you might need to activate, or you might need to do some healing work on your throat chakra. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
To remind you, like, okay, stop being silent. You
So,
know?
okay. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, child. Yeah. So they said like the blocks or the misalignment could also be seen through dominating conversation, like gossiping, speaking without thinking, and having trouble speaking your mind, like you were just saying.
Yes.
Right? Right? So they were saying like when it is in alignment, you will speak and listen with compassion.
Yeah, and
And
you see,
so,
and I like that it mentioned listening, because
yes.
listening is just as much, communication as talking. And we
Uh-huh.
got two ears and one
Uh-huh.
mouth. We
Yes.
supposed to listen twice as much as we speak.
As we
But sometimes
speak.
we be like yapping, 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 yapping. And like you said, dominating conversations, not giving the other person room to breathe or, communicate and
Yes.
stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, like you said, listen with compassion and feel confident when you speak, because when you know you're being true to yourself with your words, because you know that you're being true to yourself with your words. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Love that,
Mhm.
love that. Yeah, the throat chakra, boy. It can work
Yes,
for you or against you.
exactly, exactly.
Hello, hello. Thank you for coming in for our Sister Talk Sunday. We
Yeah.
appreciate you being here. Yes. Yeah, that is very, very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Yeah.
Mhm.
Now
And
let's
that's why it's also important to practice, like, breath work, because remember, that has a lot to do with, like, just the breathing, and,
mm-hmm,
also for the heart chakra too, like the lungs, taking them deep breaths,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and sometimes we need to do that, before we, especially, like, if you get angry or something, or, something that happened, you feel offended and
Yes.
stuff, it's like before we respond, take some of them deep breaths in, you know what I'm saying?
Woo!
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Before you lash out, taking a deep
Child.
breath before you lash out, you know what I mean? Because, sometimes next, we're speaking from our emotions, but it's like, all right, take
Mm.
some deep breaths so that you can try to balance your heart and your throat chakra, and then go ahead and say what you want to say.
Child. That be me all the time. Especially if I feel my emotions taking over and I feel like it's something I need to say or get off my chest. I always say, okay, take some deep breaths,
Deep breath
breathe.
in, get myself together.
Get myself together, let me get my mind right, because I've
Mhm.
definitely created a habit, but think twice, speak once. I've
Yeah.
definitely created that habit for myself because I know in the past I've had a tendency to speak before I actually thought about what I was saying, as a
Mhm.
reaction. So
Yeah.
now I could think twice, speak once,
Mhm.
think twice,
Mhm.
right? I really like, especially when I get that moment of like, ooh, like frustration or
Yes.
impatience, I'll be like, okay, I'm losing my patience. Let me think. Let me breathe deep. Okay, take a
Mhm.
breath. Like, yeah, it's like that stuff is real.
Yeah. It is. It
Yeah,
is.
find myself doing it.
Yeah.
Like, okay. I feel like I'm about to say something that might not be appropriate or might not,
Mhm.
be the best choice. So let me take a
Yeah.
bit of myself. Bit of myself. Yes, yes.
Yes.
Chakra, honey. That's throat chakra. So
Yeah.
the next one we want to go into is your third eye chakra.
Yes. Doop, doop,
Third
doop.
eye chakra, right
Mhm.
there in the middle. between your
Yeah.
eyebrows, your third eye chakra.
Have you
Yeah.
heard of tapping? Oh, go ahead. Well, let's talk about the third eye chakra real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it said it governs your rational thoughts, your insights, and your intuition. The
Yeah.
third eye chakra. So the location of the third eye chakra is between the eyes, right on your forehead, which is why it's also known as the brow chakra.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. The color associated with the third eye chakra is indigo.
Mm-hmm.
Indigo, right? And it said the
Yeah.
meaning of it is dealing with intuition and imagination, right? And the element associated with it is light. Is
Yeah.
light, right? And the body system is endocrine, the pituitary gland.
Mm-hmm.
Gland, right?
Yeah.
Oh, they said that since this chakra is physically located on the head, that blockages can manifest as headaches and
Mm.
issues with sight or concentration,
Isn't
and
that
even
interesting?
hearing problems.
How about
Wow.
that?
Yes.
Yeah.
When you get them headaches, that could be associated with your third eye chakra.
Right. How
Wow.
about that? How about that?
And
Yeah.
concentrating, issues with your sight.
Yeah. I remember when I was younger, I used to get headaches a lot.
Child.
And for whatever reason, I didn't even know, like, why it used to be happening. But I can remember, I mean, like little, like 9 years old and stuff,
Getting headaches.
getting a lot of headaches.
A lot of headaches. Okay.
Yeah. And then it's like one day it's like it just kind of stopped happening. It just
Okay.
wasn't, yeah, but it was like a kind of regular thing at one time.
Because
And I think around that time I used to do a lot of daydreaming too.
a lot of daydreaming.
I
Okay.
used to do a lot of daydreaming. I feel like I was always zoning out, like in class and stuff, not
The
paying attention.
imagination. That's the tune with the imagination. Yes, that third eye chakra.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Wow.
Yeah. But like
Mm-mm.
now, like I feel like I have a very vivid imagination. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
if I like think something or like just the way that I visualize stuff, like if I like stop for a second, it'd be like, oh, like I could just see the whole thing just like play out in the future. I
Yes,
was
yes,
like, wow.
yeah, yes. Yeah, they said if it's blockages, that can manifest as like the headaches, the issues with your
Yeah.
sight or concentrating, or even hearing problems. And they said people
Yeah.
who have trouble listening to reality, like who seem to like know it all,
Yeah. Oh.
seem to know it all, or who are
Yeah.
not in touch with their intuition, may also have a block.
Mm. How
Mm.
about that? Mhm.
Wow, these know-it-all people. We have a lot of those. We have a lot of those.
Yeah, how about that? You can't tell them nothing. 'Cause as soon as you start talking, "I know,
I
I
know. I
know."
know.
They be their key words.
Yep, yep. They
Yeah,
said that.
but
They
yeah,
said,
but, like, when it's a balance, um, third eye chakra is like it activates your insight, your clairvoyant and your psychic abilities.
ooh,
It's
yes.
like, it kind of helps you with being able to be, to visualize and help you to have like that mental a little more mental clarity. Um yeah, it's like so it's like sometimes we have like a lot of what they call like a dogma. You know what I mean? We be having like a lot of thoughts and beliefs and stuff, you know what I mean, from, just from other like stuff,
Mhm,
the way that we grew up or,
mhm.
different things and stuff. And so it's like um, carrying a lot of like unwanted kind of thoughts,
I'm
you
not
know.
wanting to thoughts. Right, right,
Yeah,
right,
and stuff, and
right.
so it's like that can kind of, yeah, have our, like, pituitary gland all blocked up, or there's been a lot of, talk about, like, the pituitary gland and decalcifying it, so that to kind
Okay.
of, um so that we can, be able to, like, use more of our, like, brain activity and stuff, you know what I mean?
Mm. Okay.
Uh to be more like telepathic and stuff, you know what I mean? To be more insightful.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Wow.
yeah.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, somebody said that having headaches is not a positive thing. It's definitely not. It's
It
definitely not.
no.
I do not like having headaches. I don't. I don't.
Yeah. And so it's like, what do? We start massaging the temples and
Okay.
things and, taking them deep breaths and, um, sometimes like I know like say if I be doing too much mental work, like
Hmm.
a lot of like mental work and stuff, you know what I mean? That can happen where you start to get a headache.
Okay.
You probably may have even noticed that too. You'd be like, all right, look, I'm doing too much, my head's starting to hurt.
Ah.
You know what I'm saying? And it'd be like, all
Yes.
right, like let me, just like take a, moment to, kind of like unwind a little bit, you know what I mean? Because a lot of, so that you're not doing too much mental work, you know what I mean? Take a moment to clear your thoughts, you know, and
Yes.
stuff, do some deep breaths and
Yes.
things and, and like refocus your thinking.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I can always tell. Like when my head start hurting, I'm like, it's too much. This is too much. I can't. I can't. Like I have to like woo. But yeah, like you said, like but when it's open and it's in alignment, it's thought that people will follow their intuition and be able to see like the bigger picture as well.
Absolutely,
It's open
absolutely. It's like
alignment.
when it's open and it's balanced,
Mhm.
it's you don't have that brain fog.
That brain fog. Yes.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? You're able to, and you're able to trust your ideas.
Mm.
You're able to trust your idea because you know how sometimes like, it's like we might, think of something as like, all right, I want this or I need that. And then the idea may come immediately and we don't even
Mm.
trust it. You know what I'm saying? It'd
Mm.
be like, what? No, you know what I mean? Oh, that's a good idea, but no, because this, and we start talking it down, beating it down, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Before you even give it a chance to grow.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. Right.
Because
Right.
it's,
Right.
but it's like, when you having that clarity and it be like, okay, you know what I mean? I need this, or I'm looking for that, or something. Then it'd be like, hey, I got an idea. Let me try
Mhm.
this. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
It's like you trust the ideas that you're getting.
Right. 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 Trusting your own intuition and seeing
Mhm.
things for the bigger picture. All attached
Yep.
with that third eye chakra. Wow.
Yep. You're able to
Wow. Wow.
trust your
Wow.
own judgment, your own thoughts,
Trusting your own thought. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. 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 Woo. Yes. So now we want to go into the crown chakra.
Yeah.
The crown chakra. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
So the crown chakra is the center of your connection with others and the worlds around you.
Yeah.
Worlds around you, right?
Mm. Mhm.
And it is located on the very top of your head, the very top of your head, right? And
Mhm.
the color is associated with violet, but I've also seen it associated with the color white as well.
Yes. Yes.
Interesting, interesting. That it
Mhm.
could be associated with either color, violet or white.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
the same with the heart, too. The heart, is associated with the color green, but also the color pink.
the color pink. Interesting.
Yeah, yeah, because
Interesting.
because it's 2 chambers of the heart, and so,
Right,
what they call, like, the upper heart and the lower heart, and so
right.
it's like pink, the vibration of pink is softer. It's like
Okay,
that softer, like, more vulnerable, kind of loving kind of, energy, with the heart, whereas
okay.
green is more like, what's that, like going after your heart's desires kind of thing, leadership, type
Oh,
of,
mm,
um,
mm.
yeah, it's
Okay.
it's more, yeah, and money,
And money.
yeah, yeah,
Yes, yes,
producing that abundance, I mean, understanding that you are abundant,
abundant.
kind of thing.
Okay.
But yes, but back to the crown chakra. Yeah, I
Yes,
love
yes,
the crown
yes.
chakra and just like being in that spirituality, in that place, understanding like that connection to all things, you know, yeah, it's that connection to your higher self, I
Mm,
feel like being in your crown chakra, raising your vibration to that is like taking the high road.
the high road.
It's
Okay.
wisdom,
Wisdom.
when you're
Okay.
dealing in the crown chakra,
Crown
and like you
chakra.
said, some people don't know how to get there. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't know how to get there. You know what I mean? Like for real,
Yay! Wow.
Because sometimes, it's like we have all those imbalances and, a person that
Thank
might
you.
be like stuck in they yeah, hey.
Advocate
uh
too.
they could be like kind of stuck in their root chakra and not
Mhm.
even able to like bring themselves up, to the higher levels. If you
Mm.
like, if you too in a state of survival or something, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's kind of hard to be in your crown chakra and like I said, take the high road, you know what I mean? If you down in your root chakra, arguing and being angry and
Mm.
too focused on your
Mhm.
survival needs,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
might not be
Mhm.
able to think clearly enough to, like you said, take the high road and
Just take the high road.
be with
Yeah,
your
they were
crown
saying like
chakra.
that meaning of it is like awareness and like intelligence, right? And
Mhm.
the element is consciousness. How you were saying, take the high road, like connection to like the divine, right?
Mhm.
And the body system is endocrine, but it's the hypothalamus and the pineal gland. I always
Mhm.
butcher these big words, y'all. I always butcher these big words. It's like I don't have to use a lot of big words in kindergarten. I have to say my
Right.
words very clearly and articulate it so these kids can understand it. So I can't
Mhm.
understand things. I'm using these big old words. Okay. But thank you for being here. I appreciate you for being here. Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, like you said, the element of consciousness, right? The crown, right?
Yeah.
They said like the crown chakra is linked to every other chakra,
Mhm.
and therefore every organ in the system.
Mhm.
Wow. And so it affects not just all of those organs, but also our brain, our nervous system, like, and it's considered the chakra of enlightenment and
Mhm.
represents our connection to our life's purpose and spirituality.
How about that?
Yes,
Mhm,
yes,
mhm. Yeah, see,
yes,
so that made me think like, all right, like if somebody, like say like regardless of what's going on, right? If you
right.
start balancing your crown chakra, you know what I
Mm,
mean, meditating and stuff, you know what I mean, you know what I mean, thinking about, the things that you say, the way you're feeling, how you're responding, understanding that the earth provides everything that you need so that you're not in survival mode and stuff, you know what I mean? It's like you kind of start to balance everything else,
mhm, mhm,
start to
mhm.
everything else to start to balance out.
Wow, wow, wow,
Yeah.
wow. Yes,
Mhm.
hello, hello. Thank you for coming in. Yes, yeah, they were saying so. Those with the block, if you have a blocked crown chakra, you may seem like narrow-minded. You might seem skeptical or even like stubborn, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Right?
spiritually disconnected too.
Yes, real disconnected if that crown chakra is blocked. But they said, but when that chakra is open, like
Mhm.
it is thought to help keep all of the other chakras open and to bring that person bliss and enlightenment.
Yeah.
About that crown chakra.
Mhm. Yep, yep. Like you said, it brings light to all the other ones.
Bring
So
light to
even
all.
like one thing that we didn't touch on, like with all the chakras,
Mhm.
how we talked about certain like foods, food colors and stuff. There's also crystals,
Okay. Okay.
for each one too.
Okay.
Um
Okay.
so like red crystals for the root chakra, orange, crystals for the, sacral, solar plex, green ones, the pink ones for the heart. So like the ones for the crown, like the purple and the white. So that would be
Mhm.
like the amethyst or like clear quartz. You can actually use those for every chakra.
For every chakra.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So you can use the clear quartz to help. It's going to help with all of your chakras. So
Mm.
say like, um so say if I was doing like a crystal healing, therapy type of session, and you lay the
Mhm.
person down, you would like place the crystals on the each like particular chakra.
Mm.
So you might,
Okay.
put like red crystals and it's not just red too. You could also use like other grounding stones, what I mean, that, have the frequency of grounding, like
Okay.
black tourmaline. Your black stones are also for the root chakra,
Okay. Okay.
so like, You might want to place them at the feet, you know what I mean, or like at their knees. Yeah, because your
Okay.
root chakra is from the bottom of your spine to the ground. So
To
when
the
you're
ground.
focusing on
Okay.
the root chakra, um, if you think of like, like from the bottom of your spine all the way into the ground, like think about your connection to the earth. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like roots, literally like rooting yourself to this planet, and
Right.
knowing and understanding that the earth provides everything
Mm-hmm.
that we need. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? This is how we get all the things. It's like it provides shelter, it provides food, it provides
Mm-hmm.
healing,
Mm-hmm.
with herbs and stuff. Everything that you need is already here,
Already.
but we still, for some reason, be believing that we don't have access to things. I ain't got this, I ain't got that. I don't got, we start
Right.
thinking in a
Right.
place of lack
Right.
instead of in a place of abundance,
Right.
you know. And yeah, so that's why I said, like, one of the best ways to balance your root chakra is to just go and put your feet on the grass. You know what I mean? Put your feet in some dirt, you know what I mean? And just ground yourself. And you'll start to, it's like that what they call like kundalini energy, you know what I mean? It's like you literally, that electromagnetic energy from the earth, from the planet will be felt. It'll just rise on up through your body, and it's like, it's like activating each of your chakras like one at a time, straight up to the crown and through,
Mm-hmm.
to like, just letting that energy just rise up and through you to
Mm-hmm.
allow yourself to feel balance, allow yourself to accept healing, and tell yourself that, I already have everything that I need. I live in abundance. We live in abundance here on this planet, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, starting with things like that is such a good start. It's such a good
Mm-hmm.
beginning,
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying, as we're learning to, like I said, balance our chakras and balance ourselves, and
Mm-hmm.
you start to notice other things around you start to fall in place too.
Right.
But it all starts with you, just finding that own balance in yourself. What I mean? Finding that
Right.
it's like you start to kind of look at things differently. You start to see the world differently. You start to see yourself differently. You know, once you start finding some balance, start
Right.
speaking to yourself differently.
Right. 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 Thank you, Cuba Chart, for being here. Thank you for being here. Yeah, so it was a question like how to unlock your chakras. Like you kind of touched on it a little bit. Like I said, be aware of the chakra that you wish to unlock. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
right? And how you said like meditate every day on each chakra to harness its power and balance your energy.
Yeah, I think one way and so, and I'm picking like easy, simple beginning stuff. You know what I mean? These are like step ones, like I say, because this is the introduction to chakras, is what we're doing here. But
Right.
something just a visualization, like do like a
Right.
visualization meditation that you could do for 2 to 3 minutes if you can. You know what I'm saying? If you can only do 30 seconds, only do 30 seconds. I ain't trying to push it, but it's just giving yourself that visual along your spine and your body, like a red light at your root chakra, a orange light at your sacral, a yellow light, at your solar plex, a green light at your heart, a blue light at your throat. Um, I don't think we said the color for, the third eye, but it's indigo. It's like,
Yeah,
so it's
we
like a
said
light
indigo. Right.
blue. Okay,
Indigo.
yep, a light blue here, a dark blue here, and a
Yeah.
purple light here. And just give that visual, imagining your chakras align and in balance, and just taking that deep breath, you know what I mean? But seeing, visualizing each one of your chakras illuminated. Visualize each one of your chakras just aglow, like just turned on and in balance. You know what I mean?
Right.
And just giving a deep breath to that, and just like I said, giving that balance and seeing that illumination, seeing your own light, what I mean, just for a moment, you know, if you can go longer, go longer. You know what I'm saying? Go longer and just give yourself that love, that attention just for a
Right.
moment. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
To give yourself a piece of balance. You know what I mean?
Right.
Before you go. And I think it's great to do when you first wake up in the morning. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's a great little thing to do, You know what I'm saying? Before you open up your eyes and start, getting on your phones and, turn on the TV or just whatever it is that you do, you know, you can stir up your own energy, you know what I'm saying? Build that chi in yourself.
Mm,
Touch your eyes before they open in the morning, you know what I'm saying? And
mm,
just give yourself that moment of love. Give yourself that little moment of peace. Give yourself that moment of balance. You know what I'm
mm.
saying? What I mean? Just to, balance your chakras, you know what I'm saying? And then be like, okay, now I want to go and start my day.
Wow. Yes, yes.
Mhm.
We're gonna do a whole recap about what the chakras are for those that have just joined us. We have been talking about the main seven chakras, their meaning, the colors attached to them, what they're aligned with, how to balance them. So we're gonna do like a recap. But they were saying like how do you know if your chakras are blocked? And it says one, like if you start getting like mood swings, you know your chakras are blocked. If you're getting
Mhm.
like if you're starting to have sleeping problems, you know
Yeah.
your chakras are blocked. If you have suffering from depression, you know your
Mhm.
chakras be blocked. Fear and anxiety could lead to blocked chakras. Communication problems can say that your chakras are blocked. Um,
Mhm.
like feeling unloved or lost can say that your chakras are blocked. And having like self doubt or low esteem can also be an indication that your chakras are blocked. So
Yeah.
for those that have just tuned in, um, when we were talking about the chakras, we started off talking about the root chakra, which is considered the root or foundation of your body, which is located at the base of your spine and your tailbone, which is
Mhm.
associated with the color red. Um, that means like your physical identity and your stability and your grounding, right? So like your root chakra, like Janae was just talking about, like there's different ways to ground yourself with your root chakra. And it's blocked, like if you start having like physical issues like arthritis, or you have like allergies, or you're suffering from like fatigue or constipation, or having bladder issues and stuff, and like emotionally going through something that could be related to your root chakra. Okay,
Mhm.
so that starts at the base of your spine. Okay. And then we went on to talk about the sacral chakra, okay, which is right just below your belly button, right, just above your pelvic bone, and it's associated with the color orange. And it's also involved in like sexual fulfillment, like emotional intelligence and social acceptance, right? And the element of it is like water, like your
Mhm.
body system is circulation. Like if your sacral chakra is like blocked, it could cause problems associated with like urinary tract infections, like lower back pain, like impotency or reproductive or fertility issues and stuff. So if you're struggling with any of these type of issues, it could be related to your sacral.
Also, like fibroids too.
Right. Anything lower, like right. There's so many different things like associated with
Mhm.
your organ. Like that could be related to your sacral, which is like your sexual organ, right?
Mhm.
Sexual organ, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So and then the next one we talked about was the solar plexus, sacral,
Mhm.
which is the third sacral that's thought to be your source of individual power, or your gut instinct. You know, how we always talk about
Mhm.
your intuition and follow your gut, trust your gut, right? Yeah. And
Mhm.
and that's associated with the color yellow, right? Meaning your self esteem and your confidence. And the element is like fire, and it has a lot to do with your digestive system, right?
Mhm.
So, like if you're having blockages, like um, with your digestion, this could be related to like ulcers and like heartburn, and like you might suffer from eating disorders and stuff. Yeah, so that could be closely related to your solar plexus chakra, right?
Yeah.
It's all just in your gut, all in your gut. Okay. And then we talked about the heart chakra, which is next up, which is located in the center of your chest, right? And that's connected with the feelings of love and romance and empathy, like for others. And of course, that's in the center of your chest, right above your heart, right? And associated with the color green. And also Janae said it's associated with the color pink as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's all the meaning behind your heart chakra has to do with love and compassion, and this element is air. And the body system is cardiovascular. Cardiovascular. So when you think about the heart, think about the cardiovascular element. Okay. So if you have any blocks like in your heart chakra, it can manifest into physical health conditions like heart problems, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
asthma, like weight issues and things, right? So,
Yeah. You know what I wanted to say too? I remember hearing someone say that how, like when children are born with asthma, they say
mhm.
that it's because their mother was grieving. Like if the
Wow.
mom be like grieving
Yeah.
during her pregnancy, and it's like her child can end up, developing lung issues.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Very interesting. And like I could be a true testament to like when you carrying a child within the womb, wherever you're going through, whatever those feelings are, can translate into your unborn child.
Mhm.
Right. And you don't understand that until like you actually have a child that like has different things going on, and it's like, oh wow, like my child is carrying on all the emotions that I was feeling in the womb.
That
Right.
that energy transfer
That
is
energy
happening.
transfer. That stuff is really real. It's really real.
Mhm.
And it's like when I sit back and think and reflect, I was like, oh my God, like I was going through so much, so much. I had so many different thoughts and emotions going on at that time. And it definitely transposed into my child's energy, you know,
Mhm.
and how they see things and how they view the world and stuff. Yeah. So, but yeah, we was talking about the heart chakra, and then we went up to the third chakra, that's associated with the color blue, right? Um, yeah, this like attributed to like your personal expression and your self awareness and like finding your truth. The
Mhm.
meaning behind it, like the communication, and Janae
Yeah.
was talking about if you're going to be speaking and getting in front of people or singing, make sure you wear the color blue. Have some
Yes.
blue attached to it.
Mhm.
It
Put a blue
definitely
crystal in your pocket.
definitely helps. Definitely helps, right? Your
Mhm.
thyroid gland, your thyroid gland, right?
Mhm.
And they were saying like if it's blocked, that it definitely can relate to like voice or throat problems and stuff, right? So
Mhm.
even like I didn't even realize that like it could affect like your teeth and gums. Like if you got
Yeah.
that is wild to me. That is wild to me.
Mhm.
So thank you for coming in. And then we went up to the third eye chakra, which the color is related to the color indigo, right here in the center of your head, between your
Mhm.
eyebrows, right? That governs like your rational thoughts and like your insights and your intuition. That third eye, you always hear
Mhm.
about that third eye. You might even see something that's symbol, that
Mhm.
third eye, right?
Oh yeah, you know what I was gonna say earlier about this thing I heard about tapping or something, and like when you're like doing affirmations or to help to like reprogram yourself to think a certain type of way, you want to tap right here at your third
Tap
eye.
right
Like
here. Okay.
you start right there, and then it's like give yourself an affirmation, you know I am confident, I
Wow.
can do it, I'm saying, I can make these things happen, I can, whatever it is, that you want to say, but that like tapping on your head, but it starts right
Wow.
here, tapping here,
Uh-huh.
and things like tapping here,
Uh-huh.
tapping like here, your like your mouth, your chin, and then
Okay.
like tapping like here on your chest, but repeating these like
Okay.
things to yourself is like you kind of start this like what's that like so like just reprogramming how you may think about yourself, yeah,
Okay.
it's yeah, these techniques that I've been
Really?
learning
Okay.
and
Tap, tap,
implementing for my own self,
tap,
what I'm saying, I've
tap,
had to do
tap.
so much work over the years, what I mean, just to to try, to become a better person, what I mean, and to trying to not deal with so much, because we bring a lot of trauma, what I'm saying, from them 7 generations like in our blood, what I'm saying, that
Child.
we're dealing with, and
Child.
even And the thing with like becoming, like I said, balanced or whatever, it's not like, you reach this balance and it's like, oh, okay, I'm balanced. No, it's constant work because anything can bring you, it's so easy to get back out of balance. We're dealing with so much noise and stuff that's
Yeah,
all around all the time. And so it's
yeah,
like constantly trying to, be in like a, balanced frequency. it's
yeah.
it's it's not easy at all, so it's like constant, it's constant work,
Constant, yeah.
because you're constantly going to be triggered, it's consistent
And
like triggers
it's definitely a
all
lot of work.
around, what I'm saying? You still around other people, you still work, what I mean? There's still news,
Yeah.
it's still life that is still going on. Life is life in and people are peopling, you
Yes,
know.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. Life is lifing. Life is definitely life.
Yes.
Yep. And then after we talked about the third eye, we talked about the crown chakra, which is the one right on top of your head, and it's your
Yes.
connection with others and your world around you. The world
Yes.
around you, and
Mhm.
that's associated with the color violet and even the color white. It's all about your awareness, your intelligence, your consciousness, your connection to the divine.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it was saying like, you know, it controls, it affects all the organs, right? Your
Mhm.
brain, your nervous system, and everything, and it's considered like the chakra of enlightenment. The chakra of
Yeah.
enlightenment,
I
right?
like to think of the crown chakra as kind of like your higher self too.
Your
You
higher
know what I'm
self.
saying? Like your connection to the divine, but it's like, we are that divine.
You are
You
that
know what I'm
divine,
saying? As
right?
well, and stuff and yeah, so it's like, meditation and things, what I mean, helps with that connection as well.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
like to think that, like that voice of reason, what I
Voice of
mean,
reason.
that I'm hearing is something, what I mean, is like, coming from like that root chakra energy, what I
Yeah,
mean, because it's
okay.
like that connection to the higher, like that higher self, that higher energy.
Higher energy. Okay, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, so yeah, they were saying like, unblocking chakras like is the process
Mhm.
that requires like time and dedication, with no set timeline, like you were saying,
Mhm.
and could take anywhere from like weeks to months, like depending like on the individual circumstances and the severity of the blockages,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah, they were saying like it ain't no quick fix.
Right,
Right.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's not like you said, it takes work,
Yeah.
especially, it's like especially when you spent years, I mean, being a
Being a
certain type
certain
of
way.
way or,
Yeah.
creating, what I'm saying, like, years on in particular vibrationary stages that have
Yes.
created the issue that you have, like it may not just it's not gonna just fix or just adjust, overnight. You
Overnight.
know?
Overnight. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they were saying like for like the chakra healings, like it's not an overnight process, like you just said, and it takes patience and consistency.
Yeah.
Consistency. Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Then it's like an individualized process. Like each person's experience is unique, influenced by personal circumstances, emotional states, and physical health.
Mhm.
Mhm. About
Yeah.
how you can unblock your chakras, right? And the timelines vary. Like we were saying,
Mhm.
like it can vary from like weeks to months. Like the process can take anywhere from, like I said, from weeks to several months, depending on the severity of the blockages. But it has to be like the individual's willingness to engage in self-reflection in the healing practices.
Right.
Like you said, like your willingness to like
Yeah. Yeah,
thing.
one thing, like I like to tell people to be open to receive,
Yeah,
be open to receive the healing, open to receive those messages, I
yeah,
mean, open to, like say, connect with your own, spirit, and yeah, it's like, yeah, but that like just being open to receive and acknowledge healing, what I mean? Because it seems like sometimes that'd be hard for people.
yeah. Like you said, focus on the healing. Focus on healing, right?
Mhm.
Focus on the healing.
Yeah.
And because the self-reflection and the practices, Engaging in self-reflection, healing practices, spiritual growth are essential for unblocking the chakras.
Mhm.
Very essential for unblocking the chakras. Um, and the Kundalini awakening.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Um, is necessary before your chakras are open. And when it's awakens, you will know within 2 to 6 months.
Wow. I'm
Yes,
like, okay, it's put a range on it. 2 to 6 months.
2 months. The
Yeah.
Kundalini awakening, yes, so you will
Mhm.
know.
So like you said,
Um,
that being consistent with it. So it ain't like something you could just like do for a week and then be
right,
like, oh, hey, I'm
right.
good.
Right. It's all
Right.
tied into that consistency. It's all tied to
Yeah.
consistency and that self reflection. Yeah, and then spiritual growth. Like unblocking the chakras is a result is the spiritual growth as well. Um, you know, your lessening ego, like taking that ego down a little bit, right?
Mhm.
Increase compassion, and not a deliberate act, right?
Yeah.
So when you're increasing your compassion, that can also help, like
Mhm.
unblocking the chakras and how you've been talking about the whole segment, meditation.
Yes.
Meditation is a powerful tool that can be used to clear your chakras and bring your mind and body into a state of balance and harmony.
Yeah.
Yes, balance
Yeah.
and harmony. Yes, 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 yes. Man, I know for me, this has been like so insightful to learn
Yeah.
different ways, and I love the connection to how you said like the music effort, the musical aspect of it, like the different notes that each chakra
Mhm.
like represent. So when you're doing like your energy healing, and I see you said something about doing the stones, so you actually place like each stone on each chakra,
Yes.
and it just like awakens the
Yeah,
chakra
it
as you
helps.
go
It
along.
helps with so you know because all right because so crystals and stone stuff they have their own energy and frequency as well. You know
Right.
because like how like everything on this planet has energy, and so the energy of the crystals they align with the energy of our chakras and help it harmonize. You know, bringing like your chakra into that same frequency as the crystal.
So
You
if
know.
somebody came to you and said, like with a specific issue, you know how we talked about how the root chakras could be related to a specific issue. If they came with you with a specific issue, just say like I'm having a digestive issue. So would you
Mhm.
focus on that one particular chakra to
I
help with that?
would. I
Okay,
would.
okay.
I mean, it's like I would still want to do, all of them because, it's like you can heal one place and, but if other areas are still out of balance, it's just going to pull from that healed area.
Oh, okay,
You
okay,
know what I'm
okay.
saying? So it's like, yeah, so balancing everything is always a good thing. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Or,
okay.
because, it's like, and you can have some that are in balance and some that are out of balance. But the ones that are in balance, the ones that are out of balance are going to pull from the chakras that are in balance.
Inbox. Okay,
Um,
okay, okay,
yeah. And so
okay.
it's usually, yeah, like where other things have been kind of knocked out of alignment as well. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but I would like put more focus into that particular area to help with that healing because I would think that that's the chakra that would need more.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, chakras is nothing but energy centers in your body. Let's say
Yeah.
if you are unclear what chakras actually are, they're energy centers in your body. Yeah, and we
Mhm.
started off with a little introduction to what chakras were before we got started. About the chakras and everything, just to give you a little bit of background about what chakras are, what they do, the different types of chakras and stuff. And feel free, like do your research. Like if you're like struggling with something, look it up and say, okay, is this directly related to this particular chakra, this energy sensor off? And how can I help balance it? There's a lot of different ways to help balance that the chakras or the things that you could be like struggling with. But I'm so like
Mhm.
thankful for Janae to like bring a light to that because this is her expertise, right? Like this is what she focuses on. This is what she practices to help like bring your body back into harmony and like balance and things. Like she's very knowledgeable um in this realm, okay, and in this sector. This is why her page and channel is called Artistic Healing Expressions. Okay,
Yeah.
she's very artistic in the healing. You know, you're able to ask her questions and she can help get you right. I always talk about how she could get you right. I've actually done like a healing energy session with her, and I literally went in with like swollen legs because I have osteoarthritis in my knees. And I literally went in like so swollen, could barely walk, and it was so painful. But I was determined to get to her energy healing because I've never been through an energy healing session. And I was like, what do I have to lose? What do I have to lose? This pain is unbearable. What do I have to lose? Then trying to get there just to have the experience. And when I tell you, like, she got me right, like the swelling went down, like you could literally feel the energy sensations going through your body. Because when I say those energy sensors are really real, like you can feel it. You can feel it. Right.
Yep.
Especially when she starts talking about, where we're going to hone in on the root chakra and the sacral chakra. And so like she goes through each chakra like to really speak to those cells and that energy, right? And you
Mhm.
can feel it like through your body. You can feel the energy flowing through your body. And like when I say like the swelling went down on my knee, she said, get the copper. She said, that's just only beginning. You went through the energy healing. I spoke to the cells, okay? I spoke to those
Mhm.
systems. Now you have to continue to do the work, get
Yep.
the copper. When I say my knee went from like this to like that, like overnight, oh my God, knock on wood, I have not had that swelling like since.
Wow. Yes.
Like that stuff, I'm like, it is real. It is
It
real.
works.
Yeah,
Yes.
it works. It definitely works. Speak to that cells, speak to those cells, speak to their energy. Them energy sensors are real. They're in your body for a reason. They are real. They're definitely real.
Yep.
Yeah, but we just wanted to touch and do a little introduction about them. Hope you got some takeaway from it, and
Yeah.
look up the chakras, their benefits, and you can tell if things are blocked. You can tell if your chakras are wide open and things
Mhm.
like. Yeah, you can learn so many different things based on tuning into your energy centers. Tune into your
Yeah.
energy. Yes. Yes. But that has been our
Yeah.
topic for today. That was our topic for
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, so I
Understand?
just want to say thank you so much for doing this and bringing this up and and wanting to do this because it's wonderful. It's really good stuff, you know what I mean? And I hope that you all got, something out of it. Definitely eat the rainbow.
Eat the
Eat the
rainbow.
rainbow. You eat the rainbow, you're touching on everything. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying? So that means eat
yes.
your blueberries and stuff too. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Activate,
right.
that third eye chakra.
Third eye
You
chakra.
know, yep.
Yes.
Eat your purple grapes, your green grapes,
Uh-huh.
your green apples, your red apples, yes, eat the
Yeah.
rainbow.
So eat all the colors. Eat all
Yes.
the colors, even ones that you don't normally eat or like. Okay, because
Right.
it's affecting all the chakras. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I love that. I love that. I love that. Eat the rainbow. Eat the rainbow. That's what it is. Like if you think about it, we have so many different array of colors associated with like the fruits and the vegetables and stuff, and they all have their different powers, right? They all
Yes.
attached. They all like different elements to it. Yeah,
Yep.
love that. Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
But I hope you have enjoyed our Sister Talk Sunday. Understanding the seven chakras. So we get together on Sundays, and I always say, you never know what we're gonna talk about. You
That's
never know
right.
what we're gonna talk about, right? Yeah, but we do this on Sundays at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And I totally appreciate you all for being here. You could have been anywhere on these YouTube streets and you were a part of our live. And for that, it is all love, all love, all love. We totally, totally appreciate you for being here. Again, I'm TB, and this is Janae from Artistic Healing Expressions. And if you have not done anything for yourself today, please do something for you. Please do something for you. We
Yes.
look forward to seeing you on our next Sister Talk Sunday. Hope you have an
Mhm.
amazing week. Take care,
Yes.
everybody. Appreciate you for being
Peace.
here.